Welcome to Everest Blower family. We believe in having a long-lasting relationship with our customer. We thank you for buying our product. It symbolizes your faith and confidence in our product. At Everest, we always strive to give the best of products and services. This CD is an effort to make the user familiar with the product. This will increase the life of the blower and will ensure more profitability for any organization where they are employed. The first thing to be done once you receive your shipment is to look for a packing slip, GA drawing and maintenance manual CD. Typically, a packing slip looks like this. Cross-check whether all the items mentioned in the packing slip have been received or not. Watch out for the smaller components more carefully. Short supply or any physical damage to the goods received must be reported within 15 days. Also, verify the items mentioned in the purchase order with the items mentioned in the packing slip. If there is any mismatch, report it immediately. Blower installation is a technical job. Care must be taken to ensure a technically competent person is engaged in the installation process. To begin with, understand the general arrangement drawing supplied along with the material. This is the basis for the installation. Identify a good location for the installation of the blower. Ideally, the location must be clean, well-lit, dry place with space for inspection and maintenance. For long life and better output, you must protect the blower from direct sunlight and rainwater. Let's have a closer look at the assembly of the blower. There are three flow orientations, that is, horizontal flow, vertical flow and right angle flow. The design of the blower decides the type of assembly. Everest blowers have a very simple yet very effective lubrication system. For smooth functioning of the blower, ensure that oil is periodically tested and fresh oil is added whenever required. The first oil change must be done within first 100 operating hours. Thereafter, complete oil change is recommended after about 1000 operating hours or earlier if inspection so indicates. Grease fill must be carried out after about 500 operating hours. Everest blower strongly recommends Castrol Hypoi B90, Servo Gear Super 90, HP Gear Oil X P90, BP Spiral Super 90 EP oil and premium grade Castrol AP2, AP3 lithium based grease with high temperature stability for all its products. Oil indicators are provided in every blower to monitor the oil level. Blowers manufactured by Everest comes in two variations, that is, both side oil or one side oil and one side grease. For long life of any product and correct usage, it's important that we understand the product technically. Everest blower is no different. To get maximum out of your blower, you must understand the blower working principle. Everest twin-lobe rotary air blowers are positive displacement units whose pumping capacity is determined by size, operating speed and pressure conditions. It employs two double-lobe impellers mounted on parallel shafts, rotating in opposite direction within a casing, closed at ends by side plates. As the impellers rotate, air is drawn into one side of the casing and forced out the opposite side against the existing pressures. The differential pressure developed therefore depends upon the resistance of the connected system. The blowers, being positive displacement type, do not develop pressure within the casing, but the discharge pressure depends upon the system resistance or back pressure. Effective sealing of the blower inlet area from the discharge area is accomplished by use of very small operation clearances, eliminating the need of any internal lubrication of the lobes. A pair of accurately mechanized alloy steel, hardened and ground timing gears maintain clearances between the impellers during rotation. The air thus delivered is 100% oil-free. This startup procedure should be followed during the initial installation and after any shutdown periods or after the blower have been worked on or moved to a new location. It is suggested that the steps be followed in sequence. Check the unit and all piping for foreign materials and clean if required. Check the flatness of the feet and alignment of the drive. Feet that are bolted down in a bind can cause distortion of the casing, disturbing the internal clearances. If blowers are V-belts driven, check the belt tension and alignment. Over-tension belts create heavy bearing loads which leads to premature failure. Misaligned V-belts can cause the impellers to rub against the side plates, resulting in overheating and jamming on operation. Misaligned couplings can cause premature bearings, shaft failures. Be sure adequate drive guards are in place to protect the operator from severe personal injury from incidental contact. Check the unit for proper lubrication. Proper oil level cannot be overemphasized. Too little oil will ruin bearings and gears. Too much of oil will cause overheating and can ruin gears and cause other damage. Ensure drive and bearings are greased or oiled as applicable. With motor locked out, turn the drive shaft by hand to be certain that the impellers do not bind. Jog the unit with the motor for a few minutes to check direction of rotation and to be certain that it turns freely and smoothly. Start the unit and operate for 15 minutes at no load. During this time, check for abnormal noise and other indications of interference. At the time of commissioning of blower, check the blower for free running by rotating the blower pulley by hand. The blower should be free to rotate in either direction. In case tightness is observed, rotate the blower pulley by hand clockwise and anti-clockwise. If unable to do so, try little harder. In case tight movement is observed, pour about half a liter of kerosene into the main casing through suction or discharge port and try again after a lapse of 10 to 15 minutes. Once it is free, run the blower with motor with suction and discharge open for about 10 minutes to expel the kerosene out. The blower is ready to be connected to system now. In case jamming still persists, further investigation may be necessary. Consult end clearance setting or contact Everest. Apply the load and observe the unit for an hour. Check frequently for abnormal noise, overheating or overloading during the first day of operation. If malfunctions occur, do not continue to operate. Problems such as knocking impellers can cause serious damage if the unit is operated without correction. Make sure proper oil levels are maintained in the gear end and grease or oil as the case may be in the bearing end. Check oil level and grease every 40 hours of operation. Loss of oil or grease should be replenished. First oil change should be done within the first 100 operating hours and thereafter every 1000 hours or more often if oil gets dirty. Check belt tension every fortnight. Tight belts would cause premature bearing failure, while looser belts would cause overheating of belts and pulleys. Check regularly for any knocking or abnormal sound. High frequency sound indicates water timing upset. Contact Everest for necessary adjustments. Clean air filter every fortnight. Choked filter would result in excessive power consumption and overheating of blower. Replace filter every 3 months or earlier. Check and clean air silencer every month. Let's now understand some of the problems commonly encountered by blower users. If you're experiencing no air flow, it may be because of low speed, wrong direction of rotation, or any obstruction in the piping. Correct the speed of the blower. Check the direction of the rotation of the blower. Check for any possibility of obstruction in the piping. In case any, remove it. If you feel that the blower is working at low capacity, it may be due to low speed, excessive pressure on the blower, or maybe because of discharge line leaks. Check the pressure and speed of the blower. In case of any mismatch, correct it. Check for the possibility of leakages in the discharge line and rectify the same. Excessive power consumption by the blower may be due to high or higher differential pressure across the suction and discharge openings, or because of rubbing impellers. Correct the speed of the motor. Correct the differential pressure across the suction and discharge opening. If the impellers are rubbing, reset the clearances. Overheating of bearings and gears or blower is caused because of inadequate lubrication, differential pressure across the suction and discharge openings too high, coupling misalignment, belt slippage or over-tightened belts, too much oil in gear case, worn impellers or high clearances, and internal contact. Check the level of lubrication. Correct the differential pressure across the suction and discharge opening. Correct the coupling alignment. Check the belt tension. Remove the excessive oil from gear case. Correct clearances. If you're experiencing excessive vibrations during the operation of the blower, it may be because of drive misalignment or impeller rubbing or worn bearings or gears, or maybe because of loose pulley or loose coupling. Correct the drive alignment. Reset the clearances. Tighten the pulley or the coupling. If the blower jams after running for a short period, this may be because of insufficient axial clearances, or maybe because of the differential pressures across suction and discharge high, resulting in overheating and subsequent jamming due to thermal expansion. Correct the clearance. Correct the differential pressure across the suction and discharge opening. If the blower makes heavy knocking sounds on running, it may be because of unit out of time or distortion due to improper mounting or pipe strains or differential pressure across the suction and discharge openings too high or worn bearings, gears. Set the timing. Check and align the piping. Correct the differential pressures across the suction and discharge opening. If the oil is leaking out of oil fill hole, it is because of excessive oil level or oil seal leakage. Check and correct the oil level and change the oil seal in case required. If there are traces of oil in blower casing, it may be because of an oil seal leakage. Change the oil seal. Loosen slightly any one gear bolts. Ensure the date punch marks on the rotor match the position as shown. Insert a feeler gauge of 0.006 inch dimension in between the rotors. Rotate the rotors by hand and ensure the gauge is free all over. If you find the clearance is not uniform, adjust the rotor position by pushing the rotors axially in the required direction at the place where the clearance is blocked. Repeat the whole process with higher gauge. Preferably take a step of 0.002 inch gauge until uniform clearance is set all over. Tighten the gear bolts and now check for the side clearances. Follow the same process to set the side clearance right. To ensure uninterrupted and smooth functioning of the blower, Everest recommends the following spare parts and consumables must be made available near the installation. These are a rotor set, bearings, oil seal and air filters. Take a good care of your blower and we ensure you that it will bring more profitability to your organization. Thank you.